Okay, to give some context to the pictures you're just looking at, that was or were two images of the capital city of the Aztec Empire, Tenochtitlan. Now, it kind of is crazy to see that and think, oh, that's a city. The way Tenochtitlan was actually set up is it was in the middle of what used to be a lake known as Lake Texcoco. Now, this lake isn't no there anymore. They basically took an island that was in the lake and through just like various irrigation systems, which is basically like digging to let water through, they turned that island into a city that was about 5 square miles, which means if you had it as a square, it would take 5 miles to go from one side to another, regardless. The main thing, or some other things about this city that were kind of crazy, is it was on this island, and the way they get to it was they actually built long bridges from the mainland to this island. And the way it would work is that if you were, say, a commoner, you would live off of the island. You'd be on that outside area, outside the bridges. And as you went up the social ladder, right, as you got to like nobles and merchants and soldiers, they would live in the city itself. And this city had big markets. The way that they would get around was there were like basically little rivers, canals would be the word for it, that they would use both for transporting goods easily, right? Because it's really easy to, instead of carrying a bunch of heavy stuff, if you just put it on a boat and put it down a river, as well as a way to like, they act as roads, right? And then these boats were the equivalent of like cars. Now, important to note is Tenochtitlan, not a city anymore. Lake Texcoco, not a lake anymore, but a huge part of Tenochtitlan is actually what is now Mexico City. So that whole area is a large part of the actual capital of Mexico now. So we're going to look at some of the things about Tenochtitlan. We kind of already touched on them that are kind of crazy and huge achievements and are really important to why the Aztec Empire could be so successful. And you'll see that looking at your sources in a minute.